I think the way that I got involved in the EDPA is that I finally got to a point, which I was striving for, where there was some space in my day-to-day life as an owner operator of a small business. And I had had some experience with coaches the 3 years prior to joining the EDPA. And I had evidence that if I got outside my own head and I had some outside influence, some really good stuff happens. And I had never, again, if you remember, I'm that guy sort of left college. So I never really got that whole idea of the circle of influence and being around people that are thinkers and dreamers, and the idea of a rising tide raises all boats. I was hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And by the way, I have no talent as a student, so I'll go out there and I'll be talented elsewhere. I'll learn to be talented. So you fast forward, and I want to say I am 16 years into being, I am now the principal of my own organization. I bought out my partner. How can I get involved? And so I went to my first EDPA access, and I was hooked like hours in. It was a replication of that same experience I told you I had nearly 18 years earlier. I was like listening to these people talk. I walked around. They were engaging. They were interested. And we were colleagues. They were in the profession that I was in. They were slaying the same dragons. Yet they were coming to this place head up, talking about their experience, when I had just been head down for 17 years, just juggling and holding on to things. And I remember saying to my wife, I just ran into a whole bunch of my people again. And then it was very, very quick for me. I got involved. I got my people there because I thought it really validated a career that can sometimes feel isolating because there's so much pre-planning for what we do. Started bringing my people there, and then pretty quickly decided I was going to get more involved and asked to be, how do you get on the board? And if you want to be in an association and do a lot of work, just say, how do you get on the board? And they swarm. It's like fresh meat, right?
Exactly.
So that's how it happened. And then within 1 year, I was asked to be on the executive committee. It was learned by doing. I was the same as Chris. I was a very passive contributor that first year because I was, I don't mind failing in front of people, but there was no handbook, right? So it was a lot like opening your own business, especially if you don't have an MBA. It's like, do the next thing. Yeah. And then gradually overnight, I started seeing patterns. And I will say something that I'd like to share that I think is really interesting. And this may just be me. I say I'm a slow learner, but there's this thing that you do professionally in life where you model other behavior and best practices. And then I think there's a point at which you've done that and you either are having results, but you're not fulfilled enough. And then all of a sudden you go, you know what? I think I'm going to trust myself. And then you start offloading the things that you're trying or attempting to do that aren't true and genuine. And then you hopefully, at least for me, you say the things that you stand for and that are important to you out loud. And the EDPA has been a great place for me to attempt to enroll other people in how I see business. And I don't see business the same way. And it's not right. It is not the right way. It's just a way. And that's my goal in the EDPA, is to just have a voice that is uniquely mine that I share, and have people understand that we don't have to battle over being who we are, right? There's a lot of ways to be successful in business.
Yeah. That's great. And it's an exceptional association that if you're in the industry and you're not a part of, absolutely worth joining, just to surround yourself with like-minded people that understand your challenges, understand the day-to-day grind that you're in, and are able to offer you, not just the camaraderie and the fellowship of being in the same industry, but also maybe some lessons that you can learn and tips and tricks to get out of certain situations that you might be in or to be more successful.
Chris, do you feel, just on the idea of associations, there is a genome of misery loves company? Is that fair to say?
Sure.
But then running parallel to that is the lack of the idea that this is a place where misery needs to enjoy, a sibling.
Well, yeah.
You and I are in that other lane, acknowledging it, but I think we both share the same idea about the invitation, right?
So that's a great point. For those that are um, of our age, right? If you've been in the industry for 25 or 30 years, you remember how many of us came into the industry, and there was about 5 or 6 exhibit system manufacturers, and they all had either dedicated or fairly exclusive um, dealer representatives. And the tribe or the community that you were part of was the brand of what that exhibit manufacturer is. That is no longer how our industry is. But my point is, we would go to the annual manufacturers meeting, and you'd see all your other dealers, and you'd see your friends, and the energy you left with kept you going for 3 to 4 months, and it was amazing. So the market's completely flipped. I think the people that are belly to belly with the end user brands really are where the source of power in our industry emanates from, if you're in front of the customer. And so and yet we miss those gatherings where we get together with the broader community or tribe. Is interesting as I was listening to Michael talk about EDPA. So by the way, that is what I believe associations fill that need for me, and I think for many. And when times are tough, it's nice to sit around and raise a glass and commiserate. When times are great, it's nice to sit around and raise a glass and celebrate. But what I heard Michael say he was doing in his early days, by the way, that was before the position we're all in now, where we're desperate to keep our people and are desperate to find new people. This man was exposing people because he saw it. I'm going to bring my staff to the larger community to meet the tribe so they feel good about it as well. We validate their careers. There's a transference of energy as a business owner and leader. It's validating your own career, right? And it is a wonderful thing to be a part of. And I don't care if it's, I know the people, the members of, IAEE and ESCA on the service contractor side feel the same way. We all get together in our communities, and so yeah, it is. But it's not just a bunch of old guard people. The new people, the young people that we meet and we see, the future leaders, and there's actually a structured, organized group of future leaders, and we recognize EDPA recognizes future leaders every year.